All right. Hey, welcome back, everybody. So what we're going to do in part 2 is now we're going to separate out the audio and then we're going to put it on to our podcast platform. As you noticed in part 1, we put it onto our vlogging platform, which is YouTube. And we included all of the extra stuff. I made a mistake and now I have to go and fix it. I'm going to show you how right now. All right, so here it is. As you take a look at the Two Business Guys Mastermind that I do, and John and I do every Wednesday, now what I have to do is separate some stuff out. So I'm going to take it from the tray there, put it into the timeline. And what I noticed was I forgot to leave things separately. And then I hit cancel everything out and I had a completed project. So now what I have to do is to get it just to separate out the voice from the actual picture. So the picture is going to look like this, right? Once we get into the podcast itself, then what'll end up happening
as the Two Business Guy.
Let's go ahead and show you. We're going to separate this out once we get into the actual podcast itself where John and I are both on screen. All I want is the voice from that. Now, this is an easier way to do it than what I did here because I made a mistake. So now what I have to do is separate all of the voice out and this part, right? So I want to go to where we start up. I'm going to show you that real quick. Remember how I told you earlier, we make this thing really, really long so that it will show us very good and quick and easy ways to separate out. So I'm going to do this. Find out where we start. All right, that's still voice. Let's go double check it. All right, so that's the music part. Remember how I told you and showed you how to fade that out. Okay, so let's change this a little bit. Bring it in a little bit there. And let's get into when we start talking, which is about right here. Okay, so that's going to be, if you notice, you can do this way as well. 43.10. So right there, we start talking. So let's say 43.10, 42. All right, so now what I'm going to do then is I'm going to clip that right here. That allows you to separate that out. Right? Double check it. Make sure I'm not talking too much. Didn't start talking. Let's see.
So, hey, everybody.
All right. Great. That's great. That's fantastic. We got an opportunity here. So what we're going to do then is we don't need this part. So we're going to go ahead and click on that. Right click and delete it out. Okay. Now, I do still want some of the parts that I do still want, and I may have to re-include is the narration. So what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and go up to library because we do want that. Remember, we're going to go ahead and grab the intro. So let's find that. Bring it on down. That's the intro. And remember how we had to do the narration? So let's go ahead and do that over again. If someone's just jumping in and you haven't seen part 1, I invite you to go ahead and look at part 1. But in the meantime, we do a intro that introduces what we're going to be talking about today. So you get a chance to listen in to that as well. Let's go ahead and do that. Make sure we got it on the right mic. All right. How to win business and influence profits. In this episode, the Two Business Guys Mastermind on how to get more business and make more money. Enjoy. Okay, it sounded pretty similar to the first one. All right, we go ahead and grab that narration now. Put it right here. Now, remember what we have to do. Now, we're still going to do a couple of things that I taught you guys earlier. But in this particular case, because we have the voice and the picture, I want to separate that out. I'm going to go ahead and click on this. And then I'm going to say separate audio and video. Now this is what you're going to do to put it on just a podcast or just to create a audio file. All right, now because we have done that, that's the audio part. If you notice, it says audio. Now we can go ahead and click here, delete this out. Okay, we can bring this down, put it with the rest of them. And remember how I told you last time is that we're going to now remove all empty tracks. So let's do that. All right, and that's all we have. If you want to make it a little bit bigger, we can extend it here a little bit. All right, so let's go ahead and tighten it up. Make sure it's tight up against the side here. Yep, looks pretty good, looks pretty good. Now, we're going to do what we were talking about earlier is we're going to transition them. Okay, we're going to do some audio effects. I'm sorry, let's go to audio effects. And let's fade that out here. Okay, and let's fade it in here. Okay, now if I stretch that out, you'll see that that fade button looks a little bit differently. It'll fade in. All right, so we're in good shape. Now we have the intro, we have a narration, and we have just audio. Now remember, because I made a mistake, I had to come in and do it this way. Typically what we would do is once we create the YouTube file, then we would just go back in and delete out the parts that we don't want to use because we're going to be doing straight audio. Now then we're going to go ahead and do some of the same things we talked about earlier, and that is to create a file. And because you notice the last one, because it was a video, we had it as an MP4. This was going to be audio only. Let's go ahead and go past this. Go ahead and create the, what you want to call it when it lands on the area you want it to be in. And I just, put my name, Randy and John Podcast. And I forgot to do this last time too, is I like to separate it out. I almost made a mistake. And when I went over to the other one, they had similar names. I didn't remember which one it was. And I just looked at it, and the one that was a little longer was the right one. Okay, so episode, and then we're going to say episode 49. And then this is going to be, let's go ahead and put audio. It'll show up as audio anyway. I'm going to leave it where it's going to land in the videos, just simply because I feel like going over there to the videos. But you can easily change that. In fact, I might as well go ahead and show you this. If you're using Camtasia, it allows you to do this. You can change it to music, let's say, save, and then it's now going to go over to music. All right, so let's go ahead and finish. And now while that's rendering, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and prepare the Anchor dashboard. And what we'll do is we'll go ahead and show you how to put it on to Anchor, or if you're going to be using SoundCloud, or if you're going to be using Libsyn or Spreaker. I think Spreaker's still around. Then you can put it up there too. You notice this might not take that long. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pause right now so that we can come back after it's done. And then I'll show you how I'm going to go ahead and load it up onto Anchor. Be right back with you. Okay, now what we have a chance to do then now is grab this episode here on 49. We're going to bring it on over, upload the episode 49. And as you notice, what will happen is it'll start uploading that episode. Once we're done, then we do all our super duper magic to it, put in any keywords, put in any links that you want to, put in any other information, and it will be ready. You will be able to either save it, or what you can also do is you can schedule it. Now, I'm going to do a separate video and show you how to get all that done as well. We'll see you in part 3.